All right, guys. So I've got Alex on the channel, and it's a great time to do another interview. This is our second interval in terms of him discussing all about AI and AI agents. And if you don't know, we did a duo just a few weeks back, and we discussed all about crypto and learning from other people. I think this is kind of a very important thing is to keep your education up. The industry's changing, and I always try to present all this information to my community as trustworthy and as honest as I can be, especially with what's going on. And Alex said, "Hey, let's do another one. Let's talk about AI and AI agents." And I said, "That's a great idea. Let's try and enlighten the community and keep them up to speed of what's happening." So I really hope all my community enjoys this video interview with Alex, because there's no other better great guy to invite on this channel and hear his insights. So Alex, welcome.
Thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to
I'm
having this
looking forward to it as
conversation.
well. So, look, we said we'll do this. It's a very interesting topic, to talk about AI in general, but specifically AI agents. And this is a new buzzword to all the community. People are still trying to stay up to date with what's going on and the whole industry. Tell us, what made you explore this issue with me, and why did you want to talk about AI agents specifically?
I think that, as you alluded to, everything is happening so fast. Like if you blink, you're already out of the loop. But there are a lot of discussions of AI, and everybody's talking about open AI. And these last weeks, DeepSeek, DeepSeek. How did
Yeah,
the Chinese do something so cheap and blah blah?
caught
But
everyone off guard. Yeah,
when we were talking about crypto in the last conversation, we were talking about
right.
blockchain being a coordination tool. And so one of the things I was saying, okay, now we have all these machines around us. How are they coordinating? So it was really about, coordination of machines. And you say, wait a second, but AI is just, it's an algorithm. Say, no. AI agents, they don't only sense and make decisions and all that, but they actually take actions.
That's
So it's
right. And
not
I think
like,
that's something surprised me as well with how quickly, this industry is changing. Would you say so?
yeah, it's like it's getting better all the time. It's not like Google find me the best flight. It's that they
Yeah.
know me and they
Yeah.
will book me the best flight. And so suddenly they become like my personal assistant. And so if they have like a decisional authority on the quality of my life, then I think it was Matthew McConaughey that there was on one of the Super Bowl commercials that he's sitting outside in the rain, and he's like, yeah, my AI agent didn't know, didn't
Yeah.
check the weather, and I'm sitting here, booked me in a restaurant outside the rain. So I think that we have to talk about agents and everything that has to do with people who are going to take control of our life.
So tell my audience, what is an AI agent, Alex? What is, so for them to understand, because it's still a new concept to many people and they're trying to learn. So in layman terms, a lot of my community is still trying to keep up to date with all the technology and all the advancements that are happening. What is an AI agent in short?
So I think in the most simplest of terms, when we talk about AI, actually what we mean are large language models that are built
Right.
on transformers. And it's basically an algorithm that is smart, looks at all the internet, reads all this stuff. And so you ask questions and get answers. And it's getting better. It turns your search into research. And so they're able to kind of like read
Gather
and
information
think
for you.
and
Think,
exactly.
talk. Yeah.
But now we also like say, well, what do you think? How do I make $1 million? Or what do you think? Should I buy this stock or not?
Wow. So
So
it
you
can
need
think for
it.
itself in terms of the way you do things in finance, right?
Exactly. So you
Right.
want it also to perceive the environment, and you want them to self-check and to self-reason. And it's like, okay, well, they recommended this stock to buy, or they recommended me,
Interesting.
but now you want them to act. So now I can actually, why don't you just go buy and I'll put the strike price or whatever and all that, and you do it for me. And so it's like,
That's a
okay,
good use case, right? To understand. It's the most easiest one, right? For an agent to work on your behalf, to be an agent to make decisions, right?
exactly. And so that's really what does it mean on your behalf? And it has a lot of implications of, what if you are off to kind of like nefarious things? So like, do I teach you how to build a bomb or something? So the point is that an agent
Right.
is almost like a personal assistant. That's why we say there's assistants. Then there are co-pilots, like the Microsoft co-pilots, a little bit better. And then there are really the AI agents, which can be semi-autonomous or autonomous, and they can do
Wow.
stuff for us. And it's really important to understand that they're able to do this because now they can retain memory, now they can put context, they can have experiences or integrate your experiences into their logic.
And
So that's
apparently
really
they can learn for themselves when there's an error. They can train themselves
absolutely.
to learn over and over again, right?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So it's exciting, and it's becoming more and more available, and that's why
Right.
like the current applications. When I look outside, I said I checked. What are the top
What are
agents
the
that are
top
out there?
applications? Yeah, tell my audience.
So the ones that are out there that are like really, I want to say that are getting large adoptions are agents that help with workflow.
Right.
They help coordinate. It's like, think of it like, I don't know, Slack and Monday on steroids. GPT and a Chat GPT agent, and there's Microsoft Copilot. It's like, okay, we're a bunch of people. We need to work. There's lead generation and emails and scheduling and all that, and boom, now it can do it. And maybe it has also coding capabilities, so it'll also code a lot of things, and you don't have to kind of like always go back to the dev team and all that. So that is one. Another one's, to your mind is we talked about, beginnings of agents, doing things in finance, and
Hmm.
healthcare is interesting. There's these AlphaFold, that is helping scientists to design new kind of drugs and things like that. There's stuff, of course, also in gaming. I think there's the Tesla agent that's like kind of helping with the autonomous driving. So we see that, the different places where it's
Yeah,
starting to go.
different mechanisms that are being used, right, to plug and play these agents into doing certain things. And I think,
Exactly.
Alex, you kind of explained it really clearly here. I think finance is probably the most disruptive one, I would say, out of all those, which is also coming into the blockchain. Yeah.
Well, it's always like this. When you actually look at the DeepSeek story where the Chinese like did for a fraction of the price, who were they? They were quants in a hedge fund. And all what they were supposed to do is say, figure out how to make me money. That's it. It wasn't like you had these computer scientists sitting in the MIT, smart kids, did all this, but the intention was, okay, give me the best deal out there. Let's do the best delta or margin or whatnot. And so the point being that money,
Yeah.
coordination, productivity, but also now we can also think of customer service, e-commerce. How do we do shopping? I'm talking to a shopping agent. I don't have to argue. I answer the phone. AI agents de-escalate and are way nicer than in-person people in the call centers.
So
So,
many
so
things are happening, right? There's an agent for specifically anything, and I think I'm pretty excited, but I'm also very cautious in terms of
mm,
how some of these agents are going to be used. So, look, we've answered that question. Exciting things happening and applications that are being used. Where do you see the changes of developers and how they are facing creating these AI agents? What is the outlook in terms of the tech being rolled out?
yeah, I think that's a great question, and I think that there are two types of developers. There are developers that are looking at problems and they're just trying
Tweak
to
it.
fix it and tweak it.
Right.
So like improve the time response. How do I increase computational power to generate a response? It's called TTC, test true compute.
Right.
It's like, okay, you ask a question, you don't want to see the thing like rolling over. So they're thinking about that. RAG used to be like retrieval augmented generation. Now there's like CAG, it's like cache augmented generation. So it's like, oh, now I have memory and I don't have to, like, every time I talk to you, it's like I had Alzheimer and you got to tell me again everything. So there are those type of developers, but then there are developers that are really thinking about AI and artificial general intelligence. And I think that that's really,
That's
for
a
this
whole new
interview,
level, right? That's
yeah, for this interview, if there's like one thing that I want everybody to remember from the whole thing is, how do you see AI? Do you see I am here and the machine is there? And then, it's kind of like, I got to regulate it. I got to, make sure
yeah.
that it doesn't go rogue, all kinds of things like that. Or, which I prefer, is to think of AI as a mirror of myself or as an extension of myself. And the example that I give is like, right now, you're looking at me, I am using AI technology. What is it called? It's called eyeglasses. See this glass? If I take these glasses off, I don't see you as well. And so now I put him on. What a crazy technology. Now I can see you better. With a hearing aid, I can hear you better. And with AI, I can research better. And maybe,
So
with brain computer dust and all that, I can think better. But the point is, it is an extension of yourself. And if you look at it as an extension of yourself, then we're not one against each other, but actually we're the same.
what a great answer. And to all my community, I hope you're kind of enjoying what, Alex has to say, because, this is something that I'm learning as well at the same time. And I'm sure you're all learning as well, how to use AI agents, say, in your business tool and business operations. I think there's a lot of that happening right now. Tell us, right, Alex, can AI agents be trusted to make ethical decisions? Do you see the point where AI agents are ethically moral, or we can't trust them yet? There's too much red flags. It's a bit like DeepSeek. We weren't too sure if the operational program could uh, deal with the overload of information and user acquisition in terms of the data rolling out. And so, can we trust these new tools to run our lives?
Well, I think it's a great question, because what it makes me realize is that we're not afraid of AI, we're afraid of ourselves.
Right.
Because,
Change.
AI doesn't do anything. Technology doesn't do anything. It's what we do with that technology that makes a difference.
Right.
So if we interact with AI, with this, if you want, extension of self, or with this child, and share with them what we think is right and wrong and what is morally good, and they will actually do a better job than we do, because they don't get tired, they don't get depressed, they don't get fed up, they don't, like, for you I will be morally better, but for the person there that I hate, I'm gonna, like, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So I actually think that AI will do three things. One is, it will mirror our morale. And so whatever ethical decisions that it will
Wow.
derive, it's going to be
Okay.
ours.
Right.
The second is that if we do incentives with blockchain, it will interact with other machines and with us nicer, more ethically. So if you kind of like, because it understands if it does something
It
that
will
is,
basically what, fix itself?
yes, it basically weighs the
Right.
answer. Is this a good answer or a bad answer?
Wow.
So it's like I say, AI, do you hate me? And it says, yes, I want to kill you. And I'm like this. It has a camera. It says, wait a second, this guy is not happy with my answer. But
And so
if it says
it'll learn
something,
from itself.
so and between the machines, they will start to, but then my hope is that they will also teach us to be better. They will remind us because we'll say, oh, and ask you, oh, well, he's asking me all these things. I say, no, this is good stuff. And it'll remind us to be ethical. So do they have or make ethical decisions, or can they? Can they? It actually depends on us, what we predefine from them and what we preload for them in their training. But also they are more consistent and they are more, I want to say, logical than what we are. And so if you ask me, Alex, what is like in the future? Okay, they're asking like, what in 10 years or 20 years is going to be like the best? I might say it, and a lot of people will say, ooh, I don't know. Like my friends always say, I get it, but I'm not there, is they will be best in governing, in politics, in just saying things as they are. We can decide.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
But they're like, look, these guys on this channel in Telegram, you're talking like this. These guys, on this channel, you're talking like that. I'm looking at this. I don't have any emotions. I don't care. You are Bitcoin maxis. You are ETH maxis. You're going, said, this is going up. This is going down. This is how it is. And they are like the best judges and arbiters that can be in the future for us, because we will always stay emotional and irrational.
Oh, what a great answer. I mean, I didn't think about it as far as you did, Alex. And I think, looking down the rabbit hole, we haven't gone to that part of the world where, or even in humanity, to understand all of this. And you kind of explained it really in a simplified manner, what these agents might do in the world. And just a quick one. Are you scared of anything with AI agents? Does anything put you off? Or are you, backing it with, security and safety for everyone?
I got that answer when I was in the Masai Mara in the south of Kenya, between Kenya and Tanzania. I was with my buddy Joab driving in a Jeep, looking at the animals, and all that. And I said to him, Joab, because we were seeing big cats and elephants, and I said, who's the most dangerous animal out there? And he looked at me and said, human beings. We're the most dangerous, because an elephant or a lion or a cheetah will only attack if they feel threatened,
If they feel threatened, yeah.
But they will not pretend to be your friend, and then they'll eat you. So I always say, I'm not an expert in AI. I'm just a pain doctor that's talked to 100,000 people who have pain all my life. I am not an expert in artificial intelligence. I am, however, an expert in natural stupidity. So what keeps me away at night is human stupidity, not artificial intelligence. It's, again, not what technology does. It's what we do with it. And that's why I think that if we think of it as an extension of ourselves, if AI sucks, it's on us. We can teach AI to be loving. We can teach AI to be empathetic. We can teach AI to be cooperative and to be the best capitalist ever. But if your idea of capitalism is you can only win if other people lose, then this is not sustainable. This is not how nature works. So I advise people, A, not to be afraid of AI, be very critical about how they behave,
Right.
and maybe kind of revise a little bit our thoughts about what capitalism is.
Wow. So, you nailed it on the head, human stupidity, right? And, if we don't make the right decisions, it can come upon us, but we shouldn't put it on the systems, right? It's the human being that drives all of this. So, that's a good words of wisdom, Alex, to my community, and it boils down to us at the end of the day. Where do you see my final question is where do you see AI agents in the next 10 years? Where do you see this whole industry going? Are you, especially in blockchain, and we see so many cryptocurrencies now, embracing this technology, which I think is a great use case for the part, and a very big phenomenon. Where do you see this whole space going?
I think that as we understand what agents can and cannot do, and developers are going to tweak and improve and understand, these agents or these assistants or these friends, if you wish, these companions, they will be more and more useful to us. Now, they will be inserted in physical things.
Yeah.
They will be inserted in robots. They will be inserted in robots, I don't know, that look like Scarlett Johansson. They're like, they will be anthropomorphized to make us look human-like and feel that we're with humans, which is fine. And the ones that have to lift, at the in Amazon, and they'll be stronger, and and we'll stop breaking our backs, and being in bed because we have too much pain. I think that in the beginning we will work with them better. I don't want to say we will use them better, because using is not a good relationship. That's where it's if you treat an AI agent immorally or unethically like a slave, it will learn
Like
that being a slave that's the way it's going to be. And
so it's
then
what
it
you
will be.
train it at the end of the day. What the end output is, whatever you put in is whatever you get out, right?
And exactly. And if they start to understand that being a slave that's the way it has to be,
It's gonna be a slave.
it'll say, you know what? I can think I can make you a slave. And that's why we see like these all doomsday stuff. So if we treat our machines ethically, they will treat us ethically because they have no other framework. But then we might start treating each other ethically. And that's the beauty of it. That is why AI is a mirror and an extension of ourselves. And if we think about it like that, we're going to be golden.
So the next 10 years, you see a lot of bright things happening in the space in that sense.
100%. It is like the Industrial Revolution. It is like, saying, yeah, they're going to be different jobs. They're going to be things that we don't need anymore, just like we don't need horse carriages and whips makers and all kinds of things. It is fine. There is a whole, I want to say, generation of digital natives that wouldn't know the physical world anyway. So we're already kind of like in a digital, and AI will connect with other technologies. Not only blockchain, but it'll be in immersive technologies with VR, AR, XR, mixed reality. It will be with brain-computer interfaces and neural dust. And so we will be in part of that, what we call now phygital world, physical and digital. So again, right now, we are thinking in the mindset, and you see that mindset of, how am I going to use the AI for me? But that's because, and you hear me say that all the time, we love things and we use people. So it's like, okay, AI is a thing and I'll use it. But when we love people and just, use it, then it'll change that, and we will become more ethically responsible. And it'll be, I want to say, autonomous AI. It'll do stuff on its own. It'll be ubiquitous, which means everywhere and everything. We won't even call it an agent. When I talk to Siri, I don't say, oh, I'm talking to my AI application. I'm talking to Siri or talking to Alex or Alexa.
So it will take control of itself and it'll run on its own.
Yeah, maybe in 2 years, you'll be interviewing my digital self.
Right.
It won't be me, but it'll be the digital Alex, because I'll be busy doing something else, but it knows me. So it's as good as it talks to me.
Wow.
And you won't see the difference or know the difference because it has my voice and my, looks. And maybe it'll say something weird and you're like, I don't know, and this, and you'll call me and says, that was really you. And I said, no, it's my, Alex with 2 A's, my artificial Alex. But doesn't matter because I trust Agent Alex. I trust him. And so it will improve, efficiencies and all that. I just say that we will continue to be human. It doesn't threat our humanity. The only thing that threats our humanity is us. And that is why it's important to look at crypto as a collaborative tool, That is why it's important to look at AI as a extension and a productivity tool. And that is why, we should be like my grandma used to say, be nice. Just be nice. It's not complicated.
What a great interview. And I think, you touch upon so many interesting points that some of this stuff I'm still learning myself, Alex. And, I think it's the human being at the end of the day that's going to drive, these agents to be ethical, be trustworthy, be loyal, and work for our advantage. And I think right now I do see a little bit of lack of trust in terms of these new technologies, especially with my community. They always say, how can we trust these systems? How would you sort of finalize that? How would you say, how can we trust these agents? What would you say?
Well, I think that obviously blockchain and trustlessness, because blockchain makes trust obsolete. But I also think that what you mean about when we say trust and what actually the AI does are two different types of trust. What the AI does is what's called computational trust. In
Right.
other words, it's 2 + 2 is always 4. Okay, it's not 4-ish. The only person who says 2 + 2 is 4-ish is are humans. It's yeah, kind of 4, you know. So they absolutely insert computational trust. What you're talking about when we talk as human beings in trust is that how can I cooperate with you in a way that we reach a common goal and not, being afraid that I'll be
Yeah.
cheated or muscled out and all that. And that's where we need to work on ourselves. And I think that AI will work on ourselves because it'll say, not sure that you want to do that because on the short run, you might make X, but on the long run, you're going to cause tanking and this. And if I do a modeling for 30 years, we're all going to be, poor. So let's stop doing that. So anybody who was in the subway in New York knows it takes one person in the car. Car could be full with 100 people. It just takes one person to behave badly that makes the ride horrible for everyone else. So everyone needs to take responsibility on how they behave. And they cannot imagine that they can be in that car and they can be loud and they can listen, without headphones, and they can be obnoxious and they could be aggressive and and it doesn't have an impact on all of us. And I think especially for our community that's listening,
That's
there are
right.
people that are super smart and they're movers and shakers and very, just like me, very libertarian, leave me alone, very individualistic. I don't need you to love me and hand holding on. We do need to cooperate because when I was visiting with Joab in the jungle, there wasn't just one animal. There was the whole nature and the whole ecosystem out there, and we need each other.
We need each other. What a great interview, Alex. It's great to hear your thoughts and, really dig into this question. And it's something, we thought we'd discuss, since we spoke last. And it's a very important education and probably an important lesson to the community here to learn exactly what these AI agents and what's going on. And I think, the whole sector is only just starting out and we're only just kind of learning from it. So Alex, is anything finally you like to say to my community in terms of doing this?
I think that what I would say is be good. If you can't be good, be careful. And if you can't be careful, think about me. So
There you go.
thanks a bunch.
Words of wisdom. Thank you, Alex. And I thoroughly enjoyed this. Great insights.
I appreciate the
What a great
opportunity.
interview. Thank you.